Hi everyone, I'm back again because a friend of mine brought this up to me again and it made me mad all over again. Because when am I not mad, right? So, last year, was it last year? The year before? I'm looking on the cover. This movie was made. Pretty sure it's 2016. I can never find, yeah, 2016. So last year, this movie was made. It's Train to Busan. Um, I was actually really surprised when I saw this in Target for a relatively decent price. It wasn't too expensive. It's a great movie. If you like Asian horror movies, it very much is an Asian horror movie. It's not an American zombie film. And that's going to become important in about a minute. Because they announced in December of last year that an American company is making a remake of Train to Busan. Now, details are still out as to how they're going to make this, but I just want to ask why. Why? 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 My Anna agrees with me because she squeaked. But why? Why are they making a remake of Train to Busan? American remakes of Asian horror films, especially, are so notoriously poorly made. Like, think of the ones that have come out. Godzilla. Horrible. The Eye with, I think it was Jessica Alba, and she wasn't really the problem. I'm sorry, I have hair in my face. But The Eye was bad. Old Boy was bad. And I actually feel really bad because I saw the American version of Old Boy before I saw the Korean version, and it upset me. I wish I had done it the other way around. Grudge, that wasn't a good movie. And I think it's because Asian horror is very different than American horror. And it always has been. It's just a cultural thing. And it's not saying that one is better than the other. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you translate Asian horror to American horror, you lose a lot of what's scary in the Asian movie because it doesn't work in the English language. So, what is Train of Busan about? If you don't know, it's a zombie horror movie on a train from Seoul, South Korea, going to Busan, South Korea. Here's the problem with doing American remake. I'm pulling out a map. Up here is Seoul. Down here, you see, is Busan. It's a 2.5, 3 hour ride train ride from Seoul to Busan. I know because I looked it up on Google. I looked it up on Google Maps, to be more specific, and trying to find other sites and trying to figure it out. So, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. That's essentially Boston, Massachusetts to Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut. And you can find out what it would, if you're not in New England, you can find it in other places as well. Those were just two that I knew that were about 3 hours away from each other. There's no train culture in America the way there is in like South Korea or in Japan. It's not here. It's not something that, oh, I have to take, a trip across the country. I'm going to go by train. And it's because, look at the map again, where Seoul is and where Busan is, that's on the other side of the country. They're almost diagonal from each other. So we don't have that because the US is so geographically large, whereas Japan and South Korea are geographically smaller. I, I want more accessibility when it comes to Asian films. And that's a huge problem that we have. And I know not everybody wants to sit there and watch subtitles and read subtitles. And I know that it's a little weird when you watch a movie and the mouths don't line up with the dialogue that's being spoken. So dubbing it is a little bit weird. At least with anime, they can go in and digitally move the mouths a little bit to match up with the words better, or write it in a way that it'll match up a little bit better. You can't really do that with live action, but remaking this, and one of the problems with The Grudge is that it was set in Japan. I think it was The Grudge. It was The Grudge or The Ring. The Grudge. It was The Grudge that was set in Japan because I was with Sarah Michelle Gellar. It was set in Japan, and so they tried to bring in Asian horror, and it just didn't. It didn't work. It just didn't work. And as a zombie film, especially, Train to Busan is not an American zombie film. It's very much an Asian zombie film. It's not the slow moving, you know, kind of Walking Dead, Night of the Living Dead type of zombie. It's much more, they're fast zombies, which I would kind of understand. Some movies do that. When you first turn, you stay pretty fast. But American audiences had a really huge problem with the Day of the Dead remake because there were fast zombies. I remember that fallout of the fast zombie and it being stupid and everybody having a huge problem with that. So I don't, if they slow the zombies down on a train, it's not going to be that scary. But if they keep it fast, keep the zombies fast, people are going to complain because it's going to be, oh, fast zombies aren't real zombies, which it's right at the beginning of the outbreak. And oh, if you want a movie with feels, though, this movie, it hits all the feels. Hmm, hmm. Angry. I got angry at this movie. I love this movie. I got angry at this movie. But I think just the idea of, and it's, to me, it's an American arrogance that we Americans think that we can make Asian horror movies better by remaking them. I'm not a big fan of remakes to begin with. I very seldom see them done well, and it feels like that's all we're getting. Um, so I don't think anytime, especially with the horror genre, because horror is very cultural. And it's very what Americans find scary, other cultures might not see as scary. And the same thing, like even if you go from like certain European countries to American, the horror doesn't quite work because there's historical and cultural differences, which seems weird because we're talking about Europe and America and everyone thinks they're the same, but they're not. And I don't think if they made, you know, a Chinese version of Saw, it would work in the same level because it's not, it's so weird. Like, the closest you would get is almost is maybe the audition is kind of close to Saw because it's very visceral and it's very tortury. But even that, it's scary for another reason. It's not scary because somebody's getting their leg cut off. It's scary because the actress in it is so calm throughout the entire thing. It's just, it's a crazy, the audition's a crazy, scary movie. And here's another recommendation for you. If you really want to be terrified for life, audition. But even then, Alfred Hitchcock, who is considered an amazing suspense, kind of horror, more suspense and thriller, I don't think his movies would work as a remake. I think there could be an inspiration taken and everything, but remakes are hard to do right, and I have yet to see an Asian horror thriller suspense be made in America and be made well, and that just drives me crazy. Another movie that I love, I Saw the Devil, is getting an American remake, and I can only assume that's going to be another Old Boy situation where the entire subtle meaning of the freaking movie is going to be completely lost because it's such a cultural difference. And I see it a lot when American filmmakers try to remake Asian films, just so much is lost because stereotypical American movies and Asian movies are so different from one another because of, again, cultural barriers, language barriers, just all of these sort of things. And I one day hope that they learn their lesson because there's only so many times you can remake a film or a category of films and have it fail. And I think that's what really is annoying because these films fail and they fail hard. Old Boy failed hard. The Eye failed hard, failed real hard. And again, it just, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna put it on a subway in New York? Or are they gonna put it on another subway system in another city? It'll probably be New York or, you know, Chicago maybe. I'm trying to think of the big uh, rail stations. Boston, they could maybe do. They don't set a lot of things in Boston anymore. I don't know why. But, and then where are they going to go? Or is it going to be Boston to New York if they do, or New York to Boston? I mean, we don't have the train infrastructure that would make this movie good because part of why Train to Busan works is because there is that, oh, I'm going to Busan for the weekend because it's down by the coast and it's nice and, you know, oh, it's only 2.5 hours away by train. Forget driving, let's go by train. Then we don't have to worry about anything. We can party all weekend and come back and we don't have to worry. We could be hungover and get home. We don't have that in the US. We go everywhere by plane and domestically. If it's more than driving distance, which most people think driving distance is maybe 4 hours, and then anything over that, you take a plane because nobody wants to deal with that, or a bus. Buses are more popular for long distance travel than trains are. And I know this because I've traveled long distances on trains and been the only person on the car who's going a long distance. We have short distance travel, like especially over here on my coast. I forgot what coast I'm on. East Coast. Wow. Okay. I mean, people travel from Connecticut to New York all the time. I mean, half of Connecticut is a bedroom community for New York. So, is that how you're gonna set it? Is it because that's not a long enough time to be on the train. It's only about, depending on where you're going and where you're coming from in Connecticut. I mean, West Haven to New York City, Grand Central, is only about an hour 45. So depending on what train you get on and what, if you get straight through or if there are stops or whatever. So I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this movie at all. I'm still mad about it. So mad. So mad. It doesn't make sense. I could kind of understand, like, The Ring, because that's kind of a universal fear of dying. The Eye kind of makes sense to remake it because, again, it's a universal fear of ghosts. But I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'm probably not gonna see it in theaters. I'll wait for it to come on TV. But that's my rant about Train to Busan and it becoming a US film, and my sadness, my deep, deep sadness of movies being made when they don't need to be made. So, anyway, I hope everyone has a good day. I probably won't film another video today unless somebody makes me mad again. But have a good day, and bye bye.